Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. And today we are going to be doing April 2026 energy reading. I know I'm a little late to the party, but nonetheless, we're going to give good messages today to help you get through your month, understand energies that are coming in, and how you can best utilize it to make the most of your month and have a really good one. So take some time and find which of these piles resonate with you. We've got group one, two, and three. And whenever you're ready, we will get started. Hi, my group one. If you chose this pile, this is your reading for the month of April 2026. Spirit, can I get some messages here for my group ones? Some energies for April of 2026. My group ones, please, Spirit. Oh, I love this one. Be loyal to what you love. Okay, so for the month of April, Spirit is encouraging you to spend more time doing what you love. Pour into your own cup, pour into yourself. So this can be projects that you have, hobbies that you have, um, spending time with people that you love, being loyal to the people in your life that you love. This can be pets. Maybe some of you are going to have, more quality time with pets in your life. Maybe some of you will be acquiring a pet in the month of April. Um, but either way, April is going to be a really good month for you to be intentional about spending time and making time for the things that you love. Let's see if we can get more information here. I'm going to pull out some tarot. All right, Spirit, for my group ones, let's get some more information. Oh, okay. All right, we've got a couple here, so we'll just take them one at a time. All right, we've got the card of Judgment. So I'm actually not surprised that this card came out because Judgment, the Judgment card, is all about authenticity, all about rebirth. I mean, if you look at the imagery of this card here, they're coming out of their coffins and being born again, so to speak. And anytime someone is naked in tarot, that's symbolic of just like pure authenticity, being completely vulnerable with who you are. And so, being loyal to what you love is kind of like being authentic to who you are. So, is there something that like needs to come out of the coffin in your life where like I'm almost getting this sense that like there's a part of you that maybe you keep a bit hidden or unseen, or you don't talk about it a lot. Maybe you don't show it to your friends or your family, but there's some like piece of you that is really authentic and true to who you are that could come out more. And I don't mean this in like you have to be upfront and forthcoming with those around you about like this side of yourself. It could be that, but this can also mean just being authentic and honest about it with yourself as well. Being loyal to what you love, being loyal to who you are. Um, and thinking about the dog spirit, I mean, think about dogs. They are so authentically them, and they just, they don't have guilt. They don't have, shame around who they are. They're just so like really celebratory about who they are, and like there's no like hiding it. They just love who they are. They love their owners. There's just an authenticity within like the dog spirit. And so April could be a really good month for you to just adopt some of that type of behavior and mentality towards yourself. So, what needs to come out? What needs to be authentic for you and something that you could be loyal to in the month of April? Okay, we've got the Two of Swords reversed. So, this again is kind of like a hidden truth. This is Two of Swords when it's upright is like you're stuck between like two hard decisions, like difficult choices, and you're it's just this feeling of stuckness, like you can't decide. Um you're like almost in like purgatory of like being caught between the two. And so it leaves you feeling like helpless and this victim mentality. But when it's reversed, this is like the lifting of that. Like you are choosing a direction, you are making a choice, and you're stepping forward with that. You're freeing yourself from this illusion of being stuck, this illusion of being the victim. And it can talk about hidden truths, which is really fitting for what I see here already. You know, this like sense of being reborn and coming out of this, closet into like a more authentic self. So I find that incredibly fitting for the reading so far. And we've also got justice reverse. So justice when it's reversed is when, there's this sense of feeling like imbalance. Okay. So I think you're like heading into a stage in your life where you are freeing yourself from what leaves you feeling hidden, stuck, and imbalance within yourself. Justice is about like a spiritual imbalance because if you look at the card upright, you've got the two pillars here, balance. You've got the scales here, balance. You've got even like in his drapery of his clothing here, it's very balanced, okay? And so when it's reversed, it's a feeling of there's some sense of imbalance in your life. So April is really going to be an opportunity for you to be loyal to who you are and what you love to bring about this rebirth of coming forward as a more authentic you and unstucking yourself. Unstucking yourself. That's not right, but getting yourself unstuck. This is going to leave you feeling a lot more balanced if you can kind of take this approach for the month of April. Let's see what else we can get here. For my group one spirit. All right. Oh, look, transformation. Who are you becoming? So fitting for this reading. I can't even. Yeah, I mean, April is going to be an opportunity for you where you can really, again, transform yourself into being a more loyal version to who you are, what you love, what you're about. Um, and again, if there's like this fear of bringing it to light to those around you, that's not what this reading is about. This really could just be like a coming to like an honesty moment within yourself where maybe just you acknowledge certain aspects of yourself that you haven't acknowledged before. And maybe you just start, creating little micro habits throughout your day that are more reflective of the real you and what you love and what you're passionate about. Um, and it doesn't always have to be like a forthcoming, like we're gonna have a conversation about this is who I am. I think it can just kind of be this like slow transformation where you just slowly start to unveil yourself more and more just through your actions and like a new you slowly emerges, and it's kind of like this gradual process where it doesn't have to be like people like you're having a conversation about it and people are like, oh, what happened to her? Just more of like you're transforming, and people will just kind of get used to this new transformative you over time, much as you will get used to it over time as well. So, who do you want to become? That's a message I just heard. Who do you want to become? Use that as motivation for making some decisions that are more loyal to who you are and what you love. All right, we've also got pure joy. Okay, so whenever this card comes up, I always think of, the hummingbird has to seek out the nectar of the flowers. Like, and I feel like this is kind of you where, um, sorry, I'm going to rearrange these cards here. I feel like this is kind of you where you are going to have to make the effort to transform and become the person that you want to become. So seek out joy, seek out what makes you happy, seek out activities and habits and foods and experiences that really resonate with what you love and who you want to become. You can't expect for life to present it for you on a platter. Like, you have to make this reality work for you. All right, let's see what else we can get. I'm going to pull some more oracle decks here just to get more information. Um, the other thing is just finding time for joy. Okay, so like pure joy, like making time and having time in your month of April that just gives you the sense of like laughter and joy and happiness, right? So this could be, just spending time with people you love and that make you feel happy and light. And that's going to be important for your month of April as well. We've also got karmic relationship. So in the month of April, a karmic relationship will have some importance in your life. This could be anybody. This could be family. This could be friends. This could be coworker. This could be, a neighbor. This could be a pet. Pets can be very karmic in nature as well. So um, I really wouldn't be surprised if for a lot of you, there's a strong emphasis on like pet type of uh, time spent, like spending time with your pet. And that really, if you're a pet person, that just brings so much joy into your life. Um, and I really am feeling too for some of you, like a pet might be coming into your life in the month of April, where it's very karmic and it's just going to bring you a lot of joy. Let's see if we can get any more messages from this deck. Spirit for my group ones. Okay, we've got communication. So for some of you, communication about being loyal to what you love and your authenticity and maybe this like rebirth moment that you're having, maybe communication is going to be paramount for your month of April. Maybe for some of you, there is a conversation that needs to be had. For instance, something like if, let's say you're in a relationship with someone and there's a part of you that's kind of hidden from this person, like you don't want to fully express a certain aspect of who you are. Maybe in the month of April, this is a good time for you to have that communication with them and just say, you know what, like there's something about myself that I want to share with you, and I'm ready to be authentic and come forward with this aspect of myself. Um, Something like that. Maybe for some of you, it is with a parent where, uh, you know, The first example that's coming to my mind is, like for people that um, are gay and they are in the closet, and coming out of the closet to their loved ones is like one of the most paramount moments in their life. That's an extreme example, but for some of you, that could be what you're experiencing, where maybe that is something that you've been struggling with, that you've kept hidden, and you're feeling like it's time to be authentic and, come out and like show yourself to those that you love and be loyal to what you love. Um, you know, Something like that, that could be true for some of you. So the month of April could be a big month for that. Could be that in the month of April, you're starting to consider having some of these conversations. And so there could be some reflection and planning around, how do I have this conversation with someone? Either way, it's just a lot of messages about like almost freeing yourself from these constraints that you've self imposed about not being fully authentic to who you are. And I really see April as a month for you to create some change in that area of your life. Oops, that card wants to come out. Oh, wow. We've got another card with, balance and justice, so to speak. And you've got the scales. Okay. So, like, what in your life could use better balancing? What in your life could use better balancing? What in your life doesn't feel balanced right now? And use that question to direct some of your energy for this month. What could use better balance in your life? Okay, how can I go about creating that balance? And you're wiser than you know. Even if it seems like you don't have all the answers, that's okay. You don't need to have all the answers. It's just the intention of, you know what, I'm going to start to create better balance in my life and just take baby steps. And it'll slowly unveil itself as you start to go down the path of what that might look like long term. All right, we've also got not for you. Okay, so what in your life is not for you anymore? Okay, like, and again, we've got, kind of like balance here. Um, Yeah, I feel like there's like this reckoning that's going to happen for you in the month of April of like, okay, this just isn't for me anymore. And it could sound something like, I don't want to live like this anymore. I don't want to um, do this anymore. I don't want to keep this hidden anymore. I'm ready to step into more of who I am. I think you're going to be coming to a reckoning of like, this just isn't for me anymore, and letting go of the things that really don't resonate with who we are and aren't loyal to who we are and loyal to what we're about and what we love. It's a difficult process, but it's a beautiful process because it's you shaping yourself into the more authentic version of you. So, though it might seem scary on the surface, it's a really powerful stage that we go through to evolve into more of who we actually are. And then we've got the fates. So there's something fated for you in the month of April, something that is meant for you that brings you the sense of just feeling safe and secure and loved and like profound happiness and contentment. Contentment. All right, let's see what final messages we can get for my group ones, please. Retreat. Spoil yourself in the morning mist. Breathe in nature's sweet scents. So, when we're going through changes, when we're kind of reevaluating aspects of ourself and our life, it can be a difficult process, and letting go of things can be a difficult process. So, make time for yourself, make time to spoil yourself. Um, you've got find joy, be loyal to what you love. Um, it's okay to take time to really spoil yourself in the process. And then you've got grounded. Keep to your roots and stand taller than the trees. So, even though you're going through this process of transformation right now, staying grounded and remembering the foundational aspects of who you are is really going to help keep you rooted so that you're able to grow and expand. Um, so don't forget about your roots. Don't forget about who you are. That's going to be the good balancing act here to help with all this growth and expansion that I think your soul is craving and desiring. Okay, well, that's all I have for this reading. And I thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye. Hi, my group two. All right, if you chose this pile, this is your energy reading for the month of April 2026. So, Spirit, can I please get some messages here for my group twos? Okay, you. You've got you. So, Spirit is saying focus on you for the month of April. Maybe some of you could benefit from being a little more selfish and a little bit more like pouring into your own cup. Okay. Some of you might benefit from doing a little bit more like self reflection about you and your feelings and your desires and your goals. Um, like it could be a good reflective month to really understand yourself a little bit better or to plan something for the future. Maybe April for you is going to be a month where you're reevaluating aspects about you and asking yourself questions like, what do I like about myself? What do I like about my life right now? And what could use improvement? What could use change? So, a lot of just like internal, self reflective type of thought and energy pouring into your cup, maybe just really taking time to spend on yourself more, taking care of yourself, eating better, working out, meditating, making time for your spiritual practices, making time for the hobbies and the things that you enjoy more, something like that. But either way, this is the main focus of your month of April. So let's see if Tarot can give us some more information here for my group twos. All right, we've got the Page of Swords. So Page of Swords is when mentally there's a lot going on in our mind. There's a lot of like mental activity. There's a lot of curiosity. There's a lot of thinking about the future and plans and ideas and things like that. So uh, I think there's going to be just a lot of like mental energy surrounding you and your personal experience and your life. A lot of internal focus here. I also think it's going to be a lot of planning about you in the future, where you want to go, things you'd like to have, experiences you'd like to have. Some of you could be evaluating, a new career and spending a lot of mental energy thinking about that, something like that. We also have the Five of Pentacles. So, Five of Pentacles is when we feel kind of left out in the cold. We feel like there's been a sense of loss. Um, and we're feeling, a bit battered and bruised and kind of like stuck in a victim mindset. Um, and the Five of Pentacles reminds us that there's always help, there's always assistance. Just like in the depiction here, he's like wounded and out in the cold, and they're passing this church window with the lights on. And so, like, there's people inside. They could go inside and seek warmth and shelter and comfort, but they're passing the window almost as if to like imply that they either don't recognize that it's there or they don't feel worthy of it. So the Five of Pentacles comes as a reminder that we shouldn't stay stuck in our victim mindset. We should always seek help when we're able to and recognize that we're not alone. And more than that, like, we are the creators of our reality. So if you're feeling like there's a victim mindset somewhere within you about some aspect of your life, the Five of Pentacles is reminding you that you only are a victim if you choose to see it that way. So that could be an invitation for some just to take that statement and really digest that. You're only a victim if you choose to define yourself as such. Okay? There's always different perspectives that you could take on a situation. Um, there's always different decisions you could make in your life about various aspects that you're experiencing. Um, so, really, just kind of stepping into your power and recognizing that you're only a victim if you want to be, you're only a victim if you define yourself that way. That can be really empowering to help you really take control and step back into the creator role of your life here. Let's see what other information I can get for my group twos, please, Spirit. Okay, you've got meditation, contemplation, peace, communication. So I feel like this is going to be a month for, and it makes sense like with these cards here. Because like if you look at this card, actually, she almost looks like she's meditating to some degree, like she's sitting in the meditative position. She's doing something with her hands, but then you've got this like halo above her head, which is, depicting like there's mental activity like beyond the physical and the spiritual realm. Like this is very like meditative. Um, so, and you've got the Page of Swords, which, is a lot of like mental activity. So, contemplation, mental activity, meditation. So just, I think there's a lot of like headspace energy here that you're going to be working your way through in the month of April. Now, you can use this to your advantage. This is a great time for you to reevaluate certain aspects of your life and really get in tune with you, the real you, the authentic you, what resonates with you, what makes sense about who you are and what you would like to experience. So use that to your advantage and use this energy to contemplate aspects of your life and, evaluate, do you want to keep that aspect of your life the same? Could it use improvement? If it could use improvement, how can I start to take steps to improve it? Are there certain relationships in my life that are maybe not serving me? And I'm debating whether or not to, you know, spend less energy on these relationships? Is my career fulfilling? Am I finding that I am fulfilled with this career and I'm challenged in the right way and I'm inspired? Okay, if not, what can I do about it? That kind of thing. Also, asking questions like, what do I need right now? What is important to me? Who am who is the person that I'm becoming? Is that the person I want to become? All of these types of questions really help kind of redirect us on a path that is more aligned with our higher self and our soul and our purpose in this earthly realm. Let me see what other messages, Spirit, I can get for my group twos here. If there's one particular problem that you're having, let's say, like career, like let's say you've been spending a lot of time focusing on how your career doesn't make you happy and you really hate your job. You could even just like pose one simple question before a meditation, like, Spirit, show me what I need to do in order to get my career back on track or get my career more aligned with something that fulfills me. And just go into a meditation with that one question in mind and see what comes up. It could be imagery, it could be words, it could be, scenes that play out in your head of something that, you would ideally like to do. And that can help give you like good direction for what to do about it. Okay, this card came up for the last group. We got two here, and I'm going to take it. Dog Spirit. Yeah, I mean, be loyal to what you love. So, if there's any changes that can be made in your life that would get you more aligned with being loyal to what you love, April is a great month to start making steps towards that. And then you've got think on your feet. So you've got a lot of mental energy in this reading. April is going to be a very mental month for you. Spirit is encouraging you to think on your feet, be witty, be quick witted, be alert, be curious, ask a lot of questions, be meditative and like recognizing the answers, like really try to calm your mind when you're seeking answers, because I can tell there's a lot of mental activity that's happening for you in the month of April. And above all else, be loyal to what you love. When all else fails, I feel like this message is kind of like a guaranteed, you know, encouragement of success, because if we are loyal to what we love, you can't go wrong. Love is God energy. Um, if you're feeling something that gives you this sense of love, it is meant for you. Okay. So, whatever that is, people, places, things, experiences, careers, if there's a sense of like, oh, I just love that, or I love them, I want to spend more time with them, I want to spend more time doing this because I just love it, you can't go wrong following that nudge, because that's like your soul speaking to you saying, this resonates with who you are. All right, let's see what other messages we can get for my group twos, please. All right, we've got three here. All right, we've got unfinished symphony. So, your symphony of life, like you are the creator, you are the composer of your life, the symphony of your life. Right now, there's a sense of it feeling unfinished, and that's okay. I mean, The whole point of this journey of life is to compose the symphony. And so if it feels unfinished, that's good because that means you're still on your journey. So yeah, there's something that feels unfinished and doesn't feel complete or doesn't feel whole, and that's okay. You're still like in this creation stage of figuring out what you want your symphony to sound like, and you're still in the creator process of it. Ooh, we've got All That Glitters. I want to pull the book on this one. Let's see what the book says on this one. All right, let's see. A need to see beyond the superficial, the desire to don a mask or dress something up to disguise its true nature, trying to be something you're not, chasing after every sparkly new thing, being mercurial. It's only human to want to adorn oneself in trinkets and paint a pretty picture of oneself. It's natural to want to acquire the trappings of status or to deny them as a statement of rebellion. But if it sparkles, is it better? Whether it's a fast car, a big house, a title, or position, the stamp of authority, or the sparkling of diamonds, these icons let you know something about a person, place, or thing, or do they? The truth is that people seek to acquire things because of what they will do for them and how they symbolically will elevate them and make them more attractive. This card signals that it's time to see beyond the adornments and probe underneath the surface. Learn to recognize the masks people wear and the motives underlying them. Imagine that all the glitter is gone. Would you still desire the object or person? Wow, okay. Interesting. So I feel like this might tie in with the Five of Pentacles here because, again, the Five of Pentacles is kind of this like victim mentality, like I'm the wounded one, I'm the one that's struggling. So, are some of you experiencing some of that where maybe you're looking at people online or some of your friends that have attained certain things that perhaps you haven't? And it's got you feeling a certain way where you're feeling like I'm not as successful as them. I'm not as worthy of as them. I'm not as happy as them. Clearly, their life is like way better. Spirit is saying, be careful of these thoughts because, just like the book said, just because it glitters doesn't mean it's better. And oftentimes, a lot of these things that people have that glitters is kind of just a facade anyway. It's kind of just part of a mask that they're wearing. They say the happiest people are the ones that like don't flaunt what they have, because if you're truly happy, you're satisfied, you're satiated. You don't need to seek out the show and tell. You don't need to seek out the validation. You don't need to seek out the likes. You don't need to seek out followers. You're already fulfilled. And so it is kind of a facade that a lot of people fall into. And it can be really easy to think like, wow, like their life is so much better than mine. But is it? Let's use social media as an example. If you're following someone on social media, let's say, who like posts a lot and they have all these extravagant postings about things they've bought or places they've gone and, et cetera, et cetera. If they were really happy with themselves, do you think that they would really take the time and energy to flaunt it? You know what I mean? Like there's still a seeking of validation that's happening by doing that. And so if you're still seeking validation, that validation is like filling a void. And so really be careful with social media, guys. I feel like it is definitely a huge facade overall. And so do not let yourself get into a compare and contrast mode with these people online. Really ask yourself, like, truly, if they were that happy, would they feel the need to do this? I don't know who needs to hear that, but I feel like that message definitely is coming through very clear. Okay, we've also got community. So seek the community that makes you feel good. Seek the community that is more aligned with your way of thinking, your morals, your standings on certain issues. And you might find that it's less online, and more with like people that are just a little more grounded and down to earth and not as flashy. And I say that just because of this card coming up. Maybe some of you are really struggling with, like, again, like this compare and contrast to all of these people on social media that just go crazy with this extravagant lifestyle they're portraying. Maybe your community is going to be more grounded and rooted in, people that are physically around you, and more on your um, speed of life. Um, because again, like, I'm getting the sense that like there's this like compare and contrast, like from your life to like what you're seeing online, and it's not really real. And so I would really encourage you to seek out community that is real, and people that are real, and people that are grounded. And I think you're going to find a lot more sense of that community and camaraderie in what's around you physically. Okay, so where am I? I think we've got final messages here for my group twos, please, Spirit. All right, these three want to come out. All right, we've got strength. When your roots are deep, you need not fear the storm. Okay, so don't fear whatever storm you feel like you're, living through right now, or what challenges you're living through. When your roots are deep, you need not fear the storm. So keep your roots deep. Be true to who you are. Step into the creator role of your life. Get out of this victim mentality. Get out of this victim, compare and contrast with people that you're seeing online. Know who you are. Be true to who you are. Grounded. Keep your roots. Stand taller than the trees. I mean, again. And then you've got kindness. Take respite by a pond and be kind to yourself and others. Yeah. And I also feel like with kindness, and like community here, like, seek out the people that are kind. Seek out the people that are kind. If you're experiencing people that are just really flashy and really showy and are really self absorbed, not in a good, productive way, but in like a, very facade, flashy kind of way, um, it's not kind. It's not kind. Like, spend time with people that care about you and your feelings and how they make you feel, and take interest in your life. And be kind to yourself. I can see that there's a lot of just mental activity around your life right now, and maybe struggling to get out of some victim mentality that you've experienced. So be kind to yourself. It's a journey, it's a process, it's not easy. If you're going down this journey of seeking this out, you are already like stronger than a lot of people, because a lot of people can't do this. So be kind to yourself. This is all a process. All right, guys, that's all I have for your reading. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. All right. Hi, group three. If you chose this pile, this is your month of April 2026. Energies coming in. Spirit for my group threes. Let's see what energies are coming in for you for the month of April. All right, this one. Oh, okay. We've got co-create. So you could be focusing on a project in the month of April that is going to require some like partnership with someone, some co-creation. This could be personal, this could be career, something like that. This can also be like relationship, because in a relationship, you have two parties that have to co create the dynamic. So, month of April for you, there's just going to be some emphasis on some type of co creation that's happening in your life. We've also got the number 40 here. In numerology, that's four, and four is all about structure and foundation. So this could imply that it relates to something that's like the foundation of your home. Like maybe you're working on a new house build or finding a new home with someone. And so, like, that could come into play. It could also be, you're laying the foundation with something within your career. Like this potential project is like a foundational piece to something that you guys are going to build on top of it from. But some sort of co creation happening for you in the month of April where you are going to be working with someone, co creating with someone. Let's see what else we can get. Spirit for my group threes. Ooh! All right, I'm going to take this King of Pentacles because it came out upright. The rest of these, we're not going to take that. Okay, so King of Pentacles reverse is when there's some sort of like either financial loss or an imbalance of our relationship to our material world. So this can be something like being greedy, or this can be being, let's say, like overly protective of our money, almost like there's a fear of any type of spending because you're just fearful that like you can't earn more. Some sort of imbalance with our relationship to the material possessions that we have. Maybe it's being too materialistic, or it could be just whatever this co creation project that you're focusing on. Um, you might see that there's a sense of like loss of finances that come with it. Like maybe something unexpected happened in the project. And so there's like these unexpected expenses that come up, right? Which is, I feel like, almost just 100% guaranteed with any project. There's always unexpected challenges and expenses that come up that always extend the budget and the timeline. So it could be something like that that you'll be experiencing in the month of April. What else can we get, please, Spirit, for my group threes? I'm also hearing it could be that who you're co-creating with, like you guys have differing opinions about finances, and that's why this card is coming up reverse. But you've got the Sun. So the Sun is like the most positive card in the deck. It is all about success and like happiness and joy and like being your full authentic self and just like celebrating in that. So this is a really positive card. Um this is spirit saying like there is going to be success and happiness with this co-creation that's happening. So even though you might have some challenges in the material side of things, the overarching energy of what this co-creation will be is going to be really successful. So that's a wonderful card to see. Let's see what else we can get here. My group threes, please. Okay. Buffalo Spirit, the abundant universe will provide. So I think that you guys are going to be experiencing some sort of like sense of a financial loss because of the King of Pentacles coming up this way. But the universe is saying that it will provide. You've got that card, you've got the Sun card. And so you're definitely going to have some challenges with this co-creation, but fear not, because you've got these two cards here telling you that the universe is going to provide for you. And oftentimes I feel like when these things happen, like it's not expected or known. Like you, as humans, we always want to have the answers. We want to have things like mapped out and understand like what is going to happen. And life just doesn't always work that way. And, you know, behind the scenes in the spirit realm, there's often things working that we're just not privy to and we don't understand. And so things happen a certain way that in the moment we don't understand, but then, you know, it's like the hindsight is 2020. Down the line in the future, you see like, oh wow, like okay, that happened and I'm so glad it happened because it led to X, Y, and Z. Um, or just these like little blessings that come in that are unexpected. And it can look like, you know, money. It could look like people that come in to help. It can look like new information that helps further a project, something like that. So Spirit is saying the abundant universe will provide. This is going to be a successful endeavor. So just have some faith, have some patience. You might have to work through some challenges. You might have to work through some losses. And it's all part of the journey. So just have faith that, you know, it's going to be okay. Spirit, what else can I get for my group threes here? My group threes on their co-creation. Ooh, sorry guys, one flew off. Oh my gosh, I knew this card was going to come out. I swear as I grabbed this deck, I was like, watch this one comes out. Okay, ancestors, guidance, protection, lessons. So I'm seeing like, okay, lessons is going to be a big piece of this for you. Maybe this co-creation has something to do with like a family member. Or maybe you're just going to have a lot of guidance and protection from an ancestor who's passed. But lessons is really standing out to me here because I feel like whatever this co-creation is that you are working on, there's definitely going to be lessons that come out of it. Okay, so um, maybe you could pray to some of your ancestors. Maybe you could seek guidance from some of your ancestors, just to help you with some of the challenges. But either way, like these lessons are going to be really good for you because it's going to help you evolve and like strengthen your resolve and just learn more about yourself and really like this co-creation that you're working towards. Let's see if we can get any more messages here from this deck, my group threes. But I swear I knew that card was going to come out. It's so funny how like I can just feel it. This deck might be done talking to us. Let's go to, I want to go to this deck. My group threes, please, Spirit. All right, we've got communication. So communication is going to be really important for this endeavor. Anytime we are working with someone and co-creating with someone, partnering with someone, communication is everything. And so, how can you improve your communication? What areas of this co-creation needs more communication? So these are good questions to ask yourself, and just be really intentional in the month of April about your communication, what you're saying, what you're sharing, how you're saying it, how you're sharing it. Think productively, think positively, think on your feet. See what else we can get from my group threes, please, Spirit. All right, that one wants to come out. Ooh, and you've got message of love. So I feel like this could also be like coming from an ancestor who's passed. Communication, message of love, ancestor, guidance. Ooh, okay. So another thing I'm hearing is there could be an ancestor that's going to try to communicate to you and give you guidance about this situation. So be open to receiving that. Like, be really super aware of messages you might receive from spirit. Messages from spirit are really subtle, guys. Like, it's not always like, unless you're just clairaudient, like, it's not like you're just hearing literal words in your ears. Some people that is the case, but for a lot of us, that's not how it works. It can be in really subtle ways. And if you're not paying attention, you'll miss it. So it can look like if you're driving and you're contemplating a situation, you might see a word on a billboard or a word on a bumper sticker or on a license plate that gives you information or might answer your question or give you insight into guidance. Um, it can look like that truly. It could be overhearing a conversation of someone in the grocery store that literally is just like answering a question you had or talking about something that relates to your particular situation or your challenge. That's kind of how spirit works. It's like planting these subtle signs and hints throughout your 3D reality that you're meant to pick up on and notice. So, in the month of April, be hyper aware of your surroundings and messages that you're seeing and hearing. It can even be symbols, okay? It can be symbols of something that have specific meaning to you that you might see that reminds you, okay, that's my grandmother, stuff like that. And I love signs from the universe. I always get really excited when I experience them myself because it's just, I find it to be such a like amazing and fascinating thing that I could be thinking about something and I literally will see a word that like gives me insight or an answer to something that I'm just struggling with mentally. And I always just like smile internally and I'm like, thank you, universe, for just speaking with me. Um, because once you start paying attention, you start to experience it a lot, a lot. So be open to it. I think that's like the first thing with a lot of this stuff is you have to be open to having these type of experiences, and if you are, they will start happening. All right, let's see what else we can get for my group threes. Any final messages here, Spirit? I'll reconnect. Secrets lurk in the captive shadows deep in the woods. I feel like this is going to be like there's going to be a moment for you in the month of April where it's going to be a sign from an ancestor, some communication that they're trying to send to you that's going to give you this sense of reconnection. So be open to it, guys. Set your intention to receive it. Set your intention to be hyper aware of your surroundings so that you catch the signs. And I promise you, you will. I promise you. Okay, retreat. Spoil yourself in the morning mist. Breathe in nature's sweet scents. So take some time for yourself in the month of April. Spoil yourself. Pour into your cup. I feel like every month that message is just so applicable. I think it's always good to take care of ourselves. But it could be, in the month of April, it's particularly important for you to do so. Just given the challenges that you might be encountering with this co creation that you're focused on, you might find yourself needing a bit of a retreat, needing a bit of like, okay, let me spoil myself kind of moment. And there's nothing wrong with that. The more we pour into our cup, the more we're able to pour into others. The happier we are, the more service we can provide to others. So it really is just like a foundational piece of living our passion, seeing through to our mission in life. Happiness and taking care of ourselves is paramount. All right, well, that's what I have for your reading, and I hope you enjoyed it. And hopefully, I'll get to see you guys on the next one. All right, bye.